Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. I got the other Greg in the building. Last time we got together, I don't know what it is, man, but that Greg and Greg combination, man, it go hard. What's going on
Man, I
with you,
was
fam?
thinking good. The combination do go hard. I'm thinking like, man, I need to hop on the show at least once a month.
Yeah, I agree, man. You need to come through, man. You need to come through. I know we exchange messages all the time, but yeah, I don't think we done had you on since, what was it, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Man, it was after Spence, so that's almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I got let me get this off real quick because I've had to eat a lot of crow over the last 2 years. So let me start off by saying, of course, I had Spence. Spence got put in the dirt. Unfortunately, Spence is still my guy. And I had Bud going into the dirt against Canelo, man. And
What? After
yeah,
after what we talked about?
yeah, I still had him. Well, let me tell you what happened, man. Let me tell you what happened. Cause when we talked, I hadn't changed. I hadn't, my leaf. I changed myself, right? You helped me realize where I had gone wrong. But we call them Bud buddies, and the Bud buddies just would not let up, man. And I started to get pissed again, and then, and then I got back to my old ways. And
Right.
so I had Crawford. No, but I gave Crawford a 40% chance. I thought if he boxed, he used angles, he periodically used movement, that he had a chance to win the fight. But that was the way I thought he was going to win the fight. And he went in there and did basically that and
Mhm.
essentially dominated the fight, man. So you said 2 years ago, we were on here. This might have been right around the time when they initially maybe had just mentioned Canelo. And you said that
Right.
that fight was going to happen. So how did you know that?
Listen, I me and Bud is raised like brothers, basically. Like
Yep.
we're cousins, blood cousins, but we're raised like brothers. I haven't talked business with Bud since probably 2016, 2017. I just know him.
Yeah.
He's always looking for the next big thing. And we watch fights together though. We don't talk business, but we watch fights together. And it's like we watched, I think, a Triple G fight versus Canelo, the last one.
Hmm.
And I said, Bud, you not that much smaller than Canelo. And then
Hmm.
he was just like, yeah, Canelo ain't a big guy. But I'm not the one that put it in his head. Bill Haney put it in his head. But I know I told him that in 2019. So I
Yeah.
don't know when Bill put it in his head, but in 2019, I just always was like, and you can go to Twitter, and Twitter is like my reference to show that, I've been talking about it because Canelo used to be the catchweight king. We used to call him the catchweight king. Always have that
Yep.
catchweight. And that's when he was at 54, but I'm like, he probably gonna win a catchweight at 52. You know what I mean? Something like that. I was just making fun of him online. And so I just always looked at his resume, and he's great. Don't get me wrong. Canelo's great. You know what I mean? But I always looked at his resume and say, every time he fights an elite boxer, he loses or it's a close fight. I thought personally he lost to Lara, but I talked to Red. Red is a professional, and Red was like, "No, you can't give Lara that fight. Canelo edged it out. It was close. You know what I mean?" But he was like, "Canelo edged out." But Floyd, Lara, Triple G beat him once, and then Bivol, all boxers, and even Caleb Plant. If you look at that Caleb Plant fight, Caleb Plant did Caleb Plant fight Canelo or did he fight?
You fought Canelo.
Yeah, Caleb Plant was in because I know he fought Benavidez though. He was in that fight, but he gasses out. Same way against Benavidez. He was in that fight, but he gassed out. So I'm like, Bud ain't gonna gas out. Bud is gonna come in better shape. Bud is stronger. People don't realize this. Bud boxed against light heavyweights and cruiserweights. So he's training against cruiserweights. I seen him drop a cruiserweight before. So
Hmm.
I'm looking at it like, man, this ain't nothing. Like once you get the hang of it, that's like the what's buddy name uh 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 uh, uh Madrimov, the Madrimov fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
He used that fight. This is I never spoke with him about this, but knowing him, he used that fight as a measuring stick, moving up to 54 because he didn't really jump two weight classes. To me, he jumped three
I
because
agree.
he only fought one fight at 54. So when he fought at 54, that was a measuring stick. He stayed in the pocket with Madrimov. He didn't box off his back foot against Madrimov really like he did against Canelo. You know what I mean? But he wanted to see. That's why his face was a little more beat up. He wanted to see how much punishment he kind of could take. You know what I mean? At that higher weight. So once he felt, Madrimov can't knock me out. And Madrimov probably hit. I don't know. I ain't never been hit by them, but Madrimov, I would say, probably hit hard too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why in the Canelo fight, when you see him taking Canelo best shot, he like, oh, okay, I can take his best shot. I done been hit harder. And he quote me. He said this. I've been hit harder by Mean Machine. And that was at 47. You know what I mean? So it's just, I just literally, like, all I do is watch sports. This is with anything, basketball, boxing, football. You know, I just know talent. And when I see talent and I see a path someone can go, and I'm like, he can beat Canelo. So I always say, and Canelo was the measuring stick. You know, he was the face of boxing. So I'm like, Bud can beat Canelo. Mark my words, he's going to beat Canelo. Sometimes I do talk too soon, and it take time for my words to become true. Yeah. But I'm willing to, you know what I mean? I'm willing to, you know, live with that.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions for you. Okay, first and foremost, you said that they've set up a parade, right, in Omaha in the next weekend.
Yep.
Okay, so my question is, if I show up, will I get my ass whooped?
No, man.
Everybody
they don't do like that. Hey, all Bud is the type of person, man. Oh, I told you so. That's it. Like even Ellie, I forgot. I don't want to promote nobody else's. Yeah, but Ellie always hating on Bud. You see Bud flicking him off and stuff in the presser. Like Bud ain't going. He don't mean nothing by that. He just like, oh, he really mean fuck you though. You know what I mean? But ain't nobody gonna do nothing. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Ain't nobody. And then yours is more funny to me. Like I didn't take yours like serious because you was like a child to me. You didn't know no better. You didn't know no better. You know what I mean? For real. People don't know no better, man. I'm telling you, Bud is different. And I tell people that. I've been telling people that since 2008. If you look at the stuff that I post, I hardly post. But when I do post, I post things that people send me, like messages. Man, you told me about Bud in 2008, 2009. You always said, man, you got a cousin that's going to be a world champ. I always, it's this weird feeling, bro, growing up. We would fight somebody. If the dude was too much, you know what I mean? You lose some, you win some. We'll go get Bud. No matter how tall he was, no matter how old he was, Bud was 13 years old, beating up 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, so he always had that it. He always been a fighter. He always been, when he first see you, he want to wrestle. See how stronger you got. You know what I mean? So he always been that person. So I'm like, anybody that go against this man, they just don't know that he was put on earth to punish people. Like, it's just that so happened that boxing is his way of punishing people without going to jail. You know what I mean? So he can't lose. I'm telling you, Greg, he can't lose. Only thing, I mean, I wouldn't want to see him in there versus Bivol or versus
Benavidez, because that's where I was about to go.
See, here's the thing with that. That's special because Bud will beat Benavidez. But
you think he'll beat Benavidez?
Yeah, Bud will beat Benavidez. But here's the thing, though. It's conditions. He's not going to 175. Benavidez can't make 168. So it's like, given that he can't make 168, he said it. He's going to be drained. You know what I mean? He's going to be drained, so he's not going to be he's not going to be the Benavidez that you guys are used to seeing at 75, or the Benavidez, or like the Canelo with no rehydration clause. You know what I mean? The Canelo at 100%. He's not going to be that. So it's like, and then again, Benavidez is bigger than Bud. That he's way bigger than Bud. It's not the same as Bud versus Canelo, when Canelo really wasn't that much bigger than Bud. You know, walk around with. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
It's two different things. So it's almost like people is like, all right, Bud, you keep winning, we gonna give you a lightweight. Oh, you keep winning, we gonna give you a heavyweight. You know what I mean? It's like they want him to lose so bad, so they keep trying to put people in there to get him. to give him his first loss. I don't want to see the Benavidez fight. I want Bud to retire. I really want him to retire, but he has nothing else left to prove. But what piqued my interest is 160. If he can become undisputed 4 times at 160 in 2 fights, so say Alama, I call him Alama. I forgot his full name. Yeah. So he has 2 belts. Lara has a belt, and then Adames.
Adames.
Adames. He has a belt. If Adames fights the first guy you said,
Janabek.
and Janabek, and they unify, and Bud can take out Lara, early next year. I would like to see that as a you know what I mean? I would like to see that as a retirement fight for Bud in next August. You know what I mean? He'll still be 38. You know what I mean? He ain't too much older. But if it's to where, man, he got to go and fight each and every one, I don't want to see that, bro.